All right, so we're back and we're crooked. Is that better? Is that a little bit less crooked? All right, today on the channel we are doing Inglorious Strudel. Inglorious Strudel is influenced by Quentin Tarantino's Inglorious Bastards, and in which we're going to be using 3 apples, or is it 3? Can't remember. And yeah. So we're using a Cortland, a Granny Smith, and a Honeycrisp, each one for a different flavor, each one for a different texture. And yeah, so here we go. First, let's try to make that straight. We're going to be making a pie crust, or just a crust, or a pastry crust in general. Okay, and I got this recipe from this book, Eat What You Watch. Start off, we are going to need 1.5 cups of flour, and also we're going to need a bowl. See how much we can get done before the roommate comes in, and obviously he's going to ruin the shot if he comes in. So for the crust, for the pastry, we're going to need 1.5 cups of flour, the juice of a lemon, 1.5 teaspoons. And so we're going to zest it before we juice it, because otherwise, and a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. So we'll start with the hardest part, and we'll zest. So we have the zest of 1 lemon. We're going to need 1.5 teaspoons of fresh lemon juice and 2 egg whites. All right, so I'll just show to you this. We've got a 1.5 cups of flour, 2 egg whites, 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, and we'll measure out the lemon juice in just a minute. And we have to add some salt too. We have to add about a teaspoon to the flour. I'm going to start out by kind of making a well there. I don't know if you can see it. There is one. I already added in the salt, so you won't see that. And so now, the 2 egg whites, 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, and a 1.5 teaspoons of lemon juice. So 1 and now we mix, and we want like a kind of like a rough kind of dough. So after about 30 seconds, we already have this. And after another 30 seconds, it's starting to look a little bit more cohesive. So we're going to lightly flour our surface. So this is how it's going to start off looking. I'm going to gather that all up. Yeah, so that's way too dry. So a little bit of warm water, but we don't want to cook the eggs. So after a little bit of water, a little bit of flour, it's starting to really come together, and now we're just going to knead it with the heel. So we're going to just keep on doing that until it's nice and soft. We got all that gluten, and at the same time, we can put our oven on at 375. So about after 7 minutes, we have our dough. Now we put it in a lightly oiled bowl, and we're going to let it rest for 30 minutes. So basically enough time for us to prepare our apples. Part 2, I guess. For the apple filling, we're going to need half a cup of sugar, the zest that we zested before, a tablespoon of cinnamon, 1/2 cup of raisins. Now we're going to have to peel and slice and core our apples. So we got them peeled, and now we're gonna chop them thinly now. Once we finish cutting everything up, we're gonna put it in the bowl. Now we have all our apples in a bowl, and we're gonna mix that all together. That smells really good. About half an hour, so we're gonna have to roll out our dough. So we're gonna get our baking sheet ready, and we're gonna line it with parchment paper. And also, we need to melt some butter for the dough. That's about 1/2 cup of butter. Cups out to like 24 inches, but like I don't think my pan is 24 inches, so we're just gonna roll it out as best as we can. We're going on parchment paper because we're supposed to fold this, roll it out, kind of. We're supposed to stretch this out as much as we can. It's about as big as I'm about to let it get. Otherwise, it's probably gonna. Our butter is melted. We're gonna have to brush all of this with butter, and then put some nuts. And our nut of choice is almonds. We're gonna put the apple mixture here. All right, so now we're gonna have to roll it over, and every time we expose some pastry, we're gonna have to brush it with flour. No, not brush it with flour. Brush it with butter. Now we brush it with butter. And now one more. So now we got to pinch both ends and seal it. And maybe just a little bit more butter. Transfer our roll, or strudel, to the pan. Wish me luck. No, that wasn't that hard at all. All right, now we got to beat an egg for the egg wash. And some egg wash. Put that in the oven, 375 for 50 minutes, 60 minutes. And now we wait. All right, so it's been about an hour, and let's go check. Let's go check it.
Yeah, that looks like it's about ready to be taken out.
After an hour, although it leaked a little bit, this is what we have, and now we have to let it cool down for about an hour, and then we're gonna make some whipping cream and cut into it and see how it is. All right, so it's been roughly about an hour. We're gonna still let that cool down for a little bit more, and right now we're gonna whip some cream. I put about like maybe 2 teaspoons of sugar just to help it get going, and that's maybe, I don't know, cup and a half of whipping cream. All right, so that's so is that like stiff peaks, I guess? Yeah. So we're just gonna wait a little bit longer for that to cool down because we don't want the whipping cream to melt. So we got the whipped cream in the fridge. We got the strudel ready to cut, and we're gonna see how it looks like. So let's give it a cut. So I'm gonna do just some final little touches, and we're gonna give it a taste afterwards. All right, so we put some whipped cream and some icing sugar on it, and let's crack into that. Cheers. So we got ourselves a nice big piece. Let's take another second little bite. It's crunchy. It's flaky. almost even tastes like there's alcohol in there, maybe, but that's probably because of the raisins. It's almost all gone. All right. So if you like what you're seeing, comment, like, subscribe, ring that bell. Anything helps. And yeah, that was this is Inglorious Strudel.